This episode of Internet Today is brought to you by ExpressVPN.
Not a day goes by where we don't see some kind of shocking, disrespectful, nearly unthinkable behavior out of people who seem to fall into a category that we can only define as, I'm better than you, therefore I can do whatever I want. Now, there's a few subgenres of this, including the now infamous medical condition known as affluenza, which is a person who thinks they can, and a lot of times actually does get away with treating people poorly and even committing crimes with little to no consequences for their action, because affluenza means they're so rich that they forget how to act normal.
Your Honor, my client has never heard the word no. So how is he supposed to have recognized the word no when it was being shouted at him as he committed these heinous crimes that he stands accused of?
Yes.
But however, the pandemic has really lowered the bar when it comes to what people think they can get away with in regards to treating other people. And right from the start, we should make it clear that treating other people poorly is a clear indication that you're a terrible human being, regardless of where you think you stand on any type of scale or socioeconomic scale or otherwise. You suck. We don't like you. You're bad. But we've definitely seen a distinct rise in people treating service industry workers like shit, especially service industry workers, recently because of the pandemic. And what we assume is, I guess, their objections to the idea that people in the service industry should be able to earn a living wage.
Wow, what a concept.
I mean, I swear to God, for a large chunk of the population, waiters, customer service, they're there to make you feel like king for a day. Like, that's how they look at customer service.
Well, yeah, it's like, that's the thing is like, you know, my boss shits on me and people above me shit on me, so I'm going to take it out on the person who I believe is below me to have some false sense of power over someone.
I'll never be rich enough to have my own servants, but thankfully, in this economy, I can go to a restaurant or a department store and have a servant for like an hour or so and treat them like dog shit, maybe even get them fired with almost no recourse unless I step over an imaginary line.
Yeah.
But I mean, retail workers, restaurant staff, public transportation workers, flight attendants, they've all had to pull double duty as security guards in addition to their actual jobs during this pandemic, because people simply cannot follow basic rules. And then those people take their anger out on anyone in their path, and that's most likely going to be the cashier, bus driver, waitress, flight attendant, and so on.
So this week's big public freakout story, and it is, I think, one of the, just the pinnacle of so many things. Yeah, it has a little bit of the most annoying parts of everything.
It qualifies, into one. It's like r/public freakout and r/justice porn.
It really is like the perfect from start to finish, despite there being some very serious implications of the crimes committed here, which obviously everyone should take very seriously. But it is like the perfect little ball all wrapped into one of everything that we've been dealing with and seeing people deal with over the past year and a half specifically.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of everything mixed into one very annoying young man who thought he could do whatever the hell he wanted to before literally getting hogtied and then mocked by everyone around him, with plenty of video evidence that will justifiably haunt him for years to come.
Not just the video evidence, probably a no-fly list.
Yes, 22-year-old Maxwell Berry went from fuck around to find out in record time recently while on board a Frontier Airlines flight from Philadelphia to Miami when he was held down and tied to his seat with tape, with an attempt also made to literally tape his mouth shut.
Yeah, so according to multiple reports and the video footage, Max Berry, great name, assaulted 3 flight attendants, punching one and groping the breasts of 2 others. The videos of the tail end of the altercation and aftermath are what's going viral because it's obviously very satisfying to watch someone being publicly shamed and mocked for justifiable reasons, and we'll certainly get to those. But first, let's bring you up to speed on exactly what went down before the camera started rolling. Because maybe he was justified. Do we know what happened before the camera started? The context, is this out of context? Where's the context?
Yes.
So here's the New York Times. The trouble began when Mr. Berry ordered his third alcoholic beverage. I remember my third beer. He ordered his third alcoholic beverage of the flight.
And this goes without saying that there were, I would assume, most likely some alcoholic beverages consumed at the airport, maybe in the car on the way to the airport, various times throughout the day. This looked like a nighttime flight. So.
I choose to believe this was his third beer ever.
Yes. Well, I'm 22. I lost the last year of my life. My 21, the whole year was wasted. So, as a law-abiding citizen, I waited until I could actually drink. So this will be my third beer. Thank you.
So I'll start again. The trouble began when Mr. Berry ordered his third alcoholic beverage of the flight and brushed his empty cup against a flight attendant's backside, according to the criminal complaint, Jesus, which said that the flight attendant told him, "Don't touch me." Mr. Berry, who had been sitting in seat 28D, then emerged from the bathroom shirtless after spilling his drink, prompting a flight attendant to tell him that he needed to be fully dressed.
What? I thought this was America.
The flight attendant helped him get a shirt out of his carry-on luggage. What, did he flush the first one down the toilet?
I don't know what happened to it.
And Mr. Berry walked around the cabin for about 15 minutes. So he's already pushed these people
they're dealing with
past
a lot.
the limit, I think. He's crossed the invisible line.
And at this point, like, they're being very gracious with their time and effort here. Like, sir, you came out of the bathroom half naked. Let's find you a shirt out of your luggage because we don't have time to search for the
And this is the thing about airplanes, the line, the invisible line is a little different because if this was a store or a restaurant, they could just kick you out. On a flight,
you kind of
everyone is stuck together, so you want to keep the peace much more than you want to escalate.
But also, the lines are much more severe that you can cross.
If you do cross that line, there is no going back. Literally no going back in the air because you will be banned from flying.
I also need new shoes because I spilled my cocktail all over my spurries.
God.
Anyways, quote, that's when he groped the breasts of another flight attendant who told him not to touch her and to sit down, the authorities said. In the criminal complaint, officers wrote that Mr. Berry later put his arms around the same two flight attendants and groped their breasts.
What are you doing?
When a male flight attendant approached and asked him several times to calm down, officers said, Mr. Berry punched him in the face with a closed fist. In one video, which was obtained by several television stations and received widespread attention online, the man who the police said had been drinking repeatedly cursed at other passengers and at the crew. He said that his parents were worth, quote, $2 million goddamn dollars.
My parents are worth more than fucking $2 million goddamn dollars. And you know what? You fucking suck.
Now look, we're not gonna say that $2 million isn't a lot of money by any stretch of the imagination. Of course it is.
Well,
it's just hilarious that this obviously intoxicated adult assumes that everyone will be impressed and stop making fun of him and allow him to freely assault and grope people.
Sorry, sir, we didn't know your parents were worth $2 million.
Yeah, all because his parents were worth $2 million.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, yeah.
It's such a specifically odd number, too.
And also, I mean, how old is this kid?
22.
So he's 22. His parents are probably like 50 something. I mean, if you have dual income parents in their 50s and they've like been working their whole lives.
Yeah, from that generation.
And they've been saving
their net worth.
$2 million in net worth, which includes like their house and any assets. Like,
I get it.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's a lot for us, our generation especially. But
it's a lot of money.
But in that context, it's like. It's solidly middle class.
Yeah, I did see a lot of that. That's why I bring this up, is because there was a lot of comments on the videos and the reporting where it's just like, this guy thinks $2 million is a lot of money. It is. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's not money where you're like swinging dick money. It's not Dan Blazarian, I'm going to do whatever I want with no consequence
also
money.
Clearly not flying on any other airline except Frontier Airlines money.
Yeah, and by the way, in response to being mocked for his declaration of generational wealth,
I'm a scion, you see.
He tells another passenger that, quote, my grandpa is worth more than your fucking life.
My grandpa is worth more than your fucking life.
So, very classy right off the bat.
Do we know whose grandpa is?
No, I'm assuming, a Rockefeller or something like that.
Must be a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Especially to bring it up like that.
He's one of the 5 guys.
Yes. He's guy number 3.
He had to split the 5 guys' fortune 5 ways. So, yeah, he's not an unknown figure, but he's way richer he's worth more than your fuking life.
Yeah.
You see?
Is he on Shark Tank? No, but he sold an idea to the sharks.
Yeah.
And they're now profiting off of it.
Imagine, you order French fries and they just fill the whole fucking bag with them. Doesn't matter what size you order, you get the same amount every time.
And you can never finish them. They're delicious, but you can't.
We're just wasting food over here at 5 guys.
Yeah, we are single-handedly keeping Idaho in business.
And also, this isn't a jab at the airline or anyone that flies with them. We've all been there. But why is someone who claims that his family is so wealthy that he's impervious to laws and public decency flying on an airline that bills itself as a discount, low-cost carrier? An airline that is the punchline of every joke about flying.
Yeah, them and Spirit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
There
how
was
you would rank
another
those
public
two.
freakout thing that happened recently where an actual flight attendant, I can't remember if it was for American or Delta, was like, maybe that stuff will fly over at Spirit, but not here at.
Why
don't you take your business over to Spirit?
Yeah, it was a sassy flight attendant. He wasn't a flight attendant. He was at the check-in desk outside the gate. And this woman, she kept refusing to put on her mask, and she finally tried to board. And he's like, "Well, you can't fly." And she starts complaining. He's like, "Listen, sugar.
Maybe take your business over to Spirit.
Listen, sweetie. That might not fly for us, but maybe take your business to Spirit."
And again, nothing wrong with flying Frontier or Spirit. It's, if you want to get somewhere fast and, by the skin of your teeth, gripping the entire time, hoping that the plane doesn't crash, it's an affordable way to do it.
I get it. Yeah. No hate on people that need to fly shitty discount airlines.
No. Video footage, though, it continues with Barry attempting to punch an attendant, and then it shows him being held down and literally taped to the seat while seemingly everyone on the plane laughs and mocks him in the process.
I wish I'd been there so much. Like, this would have been so cathartic.
It seemed like a real...
Great job, jackass!
Yeah.
Look at you now!
He really brought that plane together. And it was like, the release that a lot of people might have needed after months and months of being locked away and just seeing this type of stuff online.
Yeah.
You got a front row seat.
This is the most entertaining in-flight entertainment.
Look, public, as we've said for years, public shaming, it works. And, it provided a release for everyone.
It works. If not for the person being shamed, it acts as a deterrent to others who might think about this. Like, you shame this guy enough, and other people will hopefully have nightmares about themselves being taped up to a chair while 150 people laugh at them.
And you know what? I bet it's like when they have like those scream rooms and then the breaking stuff room. That's what it must have felt like to sit there and mock this person who had no ability to physically do anything to you because they were taped down to a seat.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, quote, at one point, someone on the plane yelled for his mouth to be taped shut. A few moments later, a crew member wrapped Mr. Barry's mouth and chin with tape, which the airline employee quickly lowered away from his mouth. And Mr. Barry yelled, "Help!" several times, followed by an announcement by the crew that the flight was about to land. Now, all of this resulted in cheers and mockery from other passengers who undoubtedly saw this as quick justice for someone who absolutely deserved it.
Yes.
Help!
Upon landing in Miami, Maxwell Barry was charged with 3 misdemeanor counts of battery and will presumably go on the no-fly list.
You would have to assume that would be
the 3 counts of battery seems low.
Especially misdemeanor counts.
Especially on a plane.
Yes.
But yeah, there was a lot of backlash against the airline, though. They suspended the flight attendants after the video started going viral. Frontier later clarified that the employees had been put on paid leave pending the investigation and hadn't been reprimanded, with an official statement released which read, "Frontier Airlines maintains the utmost value, respect, concern, and support for all of our flight attendants, including those who were assaulted on this flight. We are supporting the needs of these team members and are working with law enforcement to fully support the prosecution of the passengers involved." Yeah, people were like, wait, you're suspending them for doing this? Like, no, it's just standard procedure. When people are involved in violent criminal incidents, we give them a week off.
Yes. Also, if you really need to get somewhere in 1 hour for $25, buddy, we got just the plane for you. Will you see an ad on the back of the seat in front of you? Probably. Will it be uncomfortable? Sure. But you'll get there, damn it.
Will you be able to fly if you're over 6 feet tall? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No, sir. Now, as for Max Barry, it looks like that he hasn't learned anything from this experience and is treating it as though he is some kind of martyr or something, taking to Twitter in a few now deleted posts where he exclaimed, "I could buy that jank-ass airline if I wanted to. Fuck out of my face." And can somebody tell what the hell is funny about being duct taped to an airplane seat? I was treated like livestock.
I think you've explained the joke right there, sir.
And he also had some posts that are still up on his page, at least when we filmed this, that read, "I was flying coach because I like to be among the people." It seems like it should be a pretty open and shut case here. But if his parents end up spending all $2 million of their dollars on lawyers, he could still get off with a slap on the wrist. And still, you would have to assume that he won't be welcome on most airlines ever again. And we'll also have to live with the fact that anytime someone Googles his name, they'll be treated with this wonderful representation of who he is.
My parents are worth fucking $2 million goddamn dollars.
So there you go.
Max Barry, ladies and gentlemen.
Clap, clap, clap.
But if you're someone who thinks you're better than everyone else and want to be able to harass, bully, or do whatever else you want with complete impunity, next time, reach into that back pocket, pull out that wallet, and show them your trump card. Your literal physical trump card, which will let everyone within viewing distance know that you're an asshole and you don't care what anyone thinks. And you also got fleeced once again by the ex-president, who is allowing you the opportunity to purchase a completely useless piece of plastic with some pretty intense imagery on it.
Yeah.
The Trump card is apparently now a thing that people can own, and it's being marketed to supporters straight from Donald Trump's official political action committees.
So, what does this card actually do?
Nothing.
And what is the point? Well, if you answered it does nothing, and the point is that it's another meaningless piece of merchandise created to milk whatever remaining monetary support he can out of his followers, look, chances are you're right. From coverage of this amazing membership opportunity via Insider, quote, Trump's PAC sent 2 emails on Wednesday asking supporters to get on board with carrying the red and gold cards, which look like credit cards and bear the former president's signature. Quote, the card you select will be carried by patriots all around the country, the first email said. They will be a sign of your dedicated support to our movement to save America, and I'm putting my full trust in you.
I think this is literally a thing so that when you go to a restaurant in like a week, when you're required to have a vaccine card
pull this
everywhere, they're like, sir, can we see your vaccine card? Like, oh, this is the only vaccine card I need. And then like,
sir, can you please leave?
Epic win. And then you just don't get let in.
Or everyone claps and then someone rolls coal into the restaurant.
That's right. The article continues. The Trump team said in a follow-up email, we're about to launch our official Trump cards, which will be reserved for President Trump's strongest supporters. We recently met with the president in his Florida office and showed him 4 designs. Originally, we were planning on releasing just 1 design, but when President Trump saw the cards on his desk, he said, these are beautiful. We should let the American people decide. They always know best.
Unless it was last year's election, apparently, according to him.
The emails did not outline exactly what entitled one to carry a Trump card. Clicking on the link to vote for a design led to a fundraising page.
So can you even get these? I don't know. Maybe not. As for the designs, well, one bears the presidential seal, which is a hotly contested topic on whether or not you can actually profit off it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's technically legal, although
belongs to the people.
Yeah, it would be generally looked down upon for anyone else aside from Trump supporters.
It's uncouth. Yeah. But when has that ever stopped this man?
Exactly. So one has the presidential seal on it. One simply displays the bold Trump card logo. One has the American flag in the background, and one is, well, yikes. I mean, it certainly recalls some pretty obvious imagery from the past, but we also feel like that's a bit of a trap that's been set on purpose so that people could just react with, oh, so all eagles are Nazis now? Is that what you think?
Oh, you think the okay? Yeah, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
No, fuck you. Not falling for that.
No, you know how you look with this card, regardless of what the imagery says or not.
You know what you did.
Honestly, I can't even imagine what the hell these cards will be used for, as I've said, or if there will ever be an intention for a practical use for it. But it doesn't seem like there's any reason for it other than give me money, get card that says you gave me money.
Yeah.
It's like when you can get ordained online, except even more useless.
It's a collector's item.
It is a collector's item.
Yeah. Also, wouldn't it be hilarious if all these Trump cards had microchips in them that were tracking people?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be that'd be very funny to me.
Also, like with all of the talk about like, oh, show your papers or whatever, like literally giving people the opportunity to like show a membership card to your loyalty to something. Anyways, look, the only practical use I could see coming out of this is maybe like, a place like that bar in Huntington Beach where that requires proof of that you're not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Like finally you'll have proof that you're not vaccinated, because how could you prove that you weren't vaccinated?
Yeah.
So now you have the Trump card.
Only the most unvaccinated person would buy this and put it in their wallet.
Yeah, representing a man who got vaccinated in secret because he was worried of what people would think of him. But yeah, go ahead and let us know in the comments what you think the Trump card will be used for or will provide as far as benefits for the card holder.
We should make an internet.
The American people are never wrong. So
we should make a card for our show that does nothing. Just let people know you're part of the club.
Just click the like button and you're part of the club.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It's not a card, but it's even better.
Yeah, and it does something. It puts us higher in the algorithm.
Yeah. I mean, we do technically have our own Trump cards with those little emojis that some of the people have with the hand.
Yeah.
That's our Trump card.
There you go.
Anyways, before we get into some more news from across the internet and beyond, let's take a quick second to thank today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. We all take little risks every day when we go online, whether we think about it or not. We think our connection probably won't be interrupted by hackers. Our data probably won't be used against us. But using the internet without ExpressVPN, that's like driving without car insurance. Why would you take that risk? Every time you connect to an unencrypted network, cafes, hotels, airports. Any hacker on the same network can gain access to your personal data, whether it's your passwords, financial details, etc. And your data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 per person selling personal info on the dark web.
ExpressVPN acts as an online insurance. It creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so hackers can't steal your personal data. It'd take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption, and ExpressVPN is simple to use on all your devices. You just fire up the app, you click one button, and you get protected. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/todaydaily. That is expressvpn.com/todaydaily, and you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/todaydaily.
All right, back into the news now with an extremely dark and fucked up bit of news that has been developing over the past couple of days. So if you're in a good mood and you don't want to take a walk down the path of human depravity, maybe take a break and join us next time.
Yeah,
we
we'll
understand.
have a news dump tomorrow, so.
But if you're a sicko like us, stick around.
Yeah.
Things are about to get very dark. And yeah, we'll also try to keep this kind of brief because while this person was a prominent figure on the internet going back over a decade, we weren't all that aware of everything that preceded this latest development. I have, against my will, been subjected to the bullet points of this story over the years from just as
Existing, yeah.
part of being online.
Yeah. So Christine Chandler, aka Chris Chan, first found seemingly unwanted fame way back in the late 2000s as a result of her terrible artwork and comic that mashed together Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu into one character named Sonichu. After the internet identified her as the creator, the next decade or so was filled with mocking, doxing, hacking, and anything else that you could think of as a result of getting famous on one of the many Chan message boards. Chris Chan has been a well-known figure online ever since, despite our lack of awareness leading up to this point. But this past Sunday, Chris Chan was arrested in Virginia and charged with incest for apparently sexually assaulting her 79-year-old mother after admitting to the crime in a leaked recording and text messages as well.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate that what this person went through was like essentially a real-life Truman show if Truman had autism.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not excusing what we're about to talk about. I'm just
Not
saying
at all.
this person has basically been tortured psychologically by the internet for most of their life.
Yeah. That's why, like, this whole thing is very. It's all bad from every angle. Every angle of this is terrible.
Yeah.
It's a terrible life. It's a terrible result. It's terrible news to read about. It's just bad.
But it's news now.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not going to talk about this if it's just on fucking Twitter and Reddit and shit. But now it's in reputable news outlets like Insider.
Yeah.
Here's Insider. Chandler has said in videos and on Twitter that fictional universes are real and can be reached through a dimensional merge. Over the past 3 years, Chandler has continued pushing the idea of the dimensional merge on her social media. In November 2020, Chandler posted a video on her CWCville Guardian YouTube channel saying that portals have been appearing between worlds, causing dimensions to collide. She states that the pandemic and natural disasters are a sign that all life on Earth will be extinguished when the dimension of Sonichu characters collides into our reality. She also says in the video that 6 months ago she merged with Sonichu, shares a body with the character, and has every power you can think of in this dimension, and then some. No exceptions.
So, as you could assume by hearing just
Not a
that
stable
preamble,
person. A very mentally ill person.
Yes. She has stated that she is in a polyamorous relationship with fictional characters from her own Sonichu world, as well as the Pokemon Mewtwo. On July 30th, a call and texts were shared on the Kiwi Farms forum of someone purported to be Chandler saying that she had had a sexual relationship with her mother, Barbara. The call quickly spread throughout social media. On August 1st, Chandler was arrested at a hotel in Charlottesville on charges of incest, with the arrest being live streamed on YouTube. On Wednesday, Chandler was transferred to the Central Virginia Jail from Henrico County, where she was being held. On Monday, the Henrico County Jail confirmed that she was being held without bail and no court date had been established. So yeah, just a bad time all around.
Yeah. Chris Chan is one of those, they call them lol cows, with those fucking sociopaths over on sites like Kiwi Farms and shit like that. It's like literally just like pick a person to cyberstalk.
Yeah.
And the whole thing's fucked up. I find it extremely weird that this is how people entertain themselves by turning a real person into a character that they follow. And it's not all that surprising to me that person would come out the other end
very damaged.
Very damaged.
Yeah.
And with a loose grasp on reality, which could lead to potential crimes.
That you would assume would be unthinkable for most people.
Yeah.
Very fucked up.
Anyways, another celebrity, internet celebrity turned actual criminal news. Ex-Vine star Hayes Greer, brother of the arguably more famous Nash Greer,
Who I actually recognize the name.
Yeah, we talked about Nash Greer.
He was the
years
one that,
ago.
He's the one that threw the silverware down the stairs and said it's how you come up with Asian names.
Yeah, he was one of those Viners that did the racism, like most famous Viners. Just everyone was doing racism back then.
Most kids that are on the internet at 14 years old being like, you know what's funny?
Racism.
Things that shock people.
Yeah. Anyway, Hayes Greer was arrested this past weekend after brutally beating up a man and stealing his phone, and was booked into a Charlotte, North Carolina jail after a warrant was issued to extradite him from his Encino, California home. The 21-year-old faces charges of felony conspiracy, common law robbery, and assault causing serious bodily injury. Greer is accused of assaulting William Markholf, who reportedly sustained a broken left orbital bone, brain damage, bruised ribs, head trauma, and hearing loss from the attack. Greer and a co-conspirator, who has not been arrested yet, are also accused of stealing Markholf's $1,200 cell phone.
Quite the fall from sort of grace?
I mean, I've never heard of this guy before.
Yeah, I know his brother. But quite a fall from Vine.
They need to bring it back. Bring back Vine and bring back Fleets. I miss my Fleets already.
Yeah. Nice segue, because we don't want to end today's episode on a bunch of negative stuff, because that would be bad. But let's pour one out for the failure that everyone saw coming and that Elliot just mentioned. Twitter Fleets. Yeah, as of this week, the Fleet has been put out to pasture, and Twitter will no longer host the short, story-like video uploads on its platform for users. And Twitter launched the feature in what appeared to be an attempt at snatching some of the success that Instagram had found in its stories, but quickly realized that people just don't use Twitter the same way that they use Instagram.
No.
They are two separate social media platforms that, unbeknownst to people who work behind the scenes at them, exist for two completely different reasons.
Yep.
But yeah, look, no one on Twitter gives a shit about people's disappearing videos. They just want the filthiest hot takes. They want the gnarliest clapbacks, and they want the dumbest memes that people can send. Twitter is a different beast from Instagram.
Yeah, when I say I miss the Fleets, I miss exactly one account that was dedicated to Fleets. It was this account called Fleets Good, and just every day at like 5 p.m. or so, they would upload about 5 minutes of the most craziest, just the craziest fucking weird Facebook video content. It's like DIY stuff, weird like Christian channels. It was great. It was like a daily dose of like everything's terrible or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the one I miss the most. Everything else I never clicked
on their account they can post actual videos. Maybe they'll do that without.
It's just not the same.
Yeah. I want it pure from the source.
Yeah, because it's like I like this
source
because you actually had to be there. You had to watch it within 24 hours.
Yeah, it's like watching the Emmys 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to be there. We all gathered around the TV, and then the next day at work, if you weren't talking about Clint Eastwood's latest win, you were ostracized.
You're not drinking water today, buddy. Go back to your desk.
Get out of here. You're fired.
Anyway, the Fleet function was officially shut down on Tuesday of this week, but not before a last-minute surge in popularity where people rushed the Fleet function in droves to utilize it just a little bit before it was gone. And, what did everyone fleet during the last few days and hours of its existence? What did they put on there? Yeah, you guessed it. Pornography.
Yes. The thing that could have saved it from the start.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Fleets were meant to be deleted, and the service was being shuttered anyway. So, yeah, there's no telling exactly what certain people were seeing in the Fleets above their timelines. But the countless reaction tweets and memes alluding to the fact that everyone decided to get down and dirty at the last possible second, causing a surge in Fleet usage and viewership, indicates that
it was
a lot of porno on the timeline.
And the clueless people over at Twitter were probably like, hey, wait a second. Maybe we shouldn't cancel this.
Hold on.
We just got 1 billion views.
Jack, are you sure we want to shut this down? People are actually using it now.
Well, hold on. Let me see what they're posting on the Fleets.
Yeah, that's a butthole.
I'll be in my bunk. Anyways, also on the good news front, really quick, leaving you with good news. You know, a little bit of Vic vinegar, a little bit of honey. Obviously, the Delta variant is still spreading like wildfire. But look, we're going to take good news wherever we can get it when it's related to COVID at this point. First off, according to recent data from the CDC, as reported by CNN, about 99.999% of fully vaccinated Americans have not had a deadly COVID-19 breakthrough case, adding that the CDC reported 6,587 COVID-19 breakthrough cases as of July 26th, including 6,239 hospitalizations and 1,263 deaths. At that time, more than 163 million people in the United States were fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
But I don't understand large numbers, so.
Yeah, well, that's 1,000 deaths. This goes without saying that, the definition for breakthrough case has changed, or it hasn't changed, but it's been defined as something severe enough to cause hospitalization.
Yeah.
So when people say that they are infected and they have been vaccinated, that can be true, but their symptoms aren't bad enough to be hospitalized or they don't die. Divide those severe breakthrough cases by the total fully vaccinated population for the result. Less than 0.004% of fully vaccinated people had a breakthrough case that led to hospitalization, and less than 0.001% of fully vaccinated people died from a breakthrough COVID-19 case.
Damn, this vaccine sounds like it does something.
Most of the breakthrough cases, about 74% of those breakthrough cases, occurred among adults 65 or older.
And while the Delta variant spread fucking sucks.
It does.
You said the Delta variant spreading like wildfire. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be saying this fire is spreading like the Delta variant.
That's true. And these hurricanes are spreading like the Delta variant.
But yeah, the silver lining is that it's actually scaring anti-vax or the vaccine hesitant or the no-vaxxers or whatever. It's scaring these people into finally going out and getting the vaccine.
Yeah, based on the numbers, it is.
Yeah. Quote, the pace of COVID-19 vaccinations in the U.S. has risen steadily over the past 3 weeks, particularly in several southern states with poor vaccination rates and strong hesitancy against the shot. The 7-day average of new doses administered nationwide is 652,084, up 26% from 3 weeks ago.
Which is a really good sign.
That's good, because it was going...
It stalled completely and then dropped entirely. So the fact that it's rising, the vaccinations, not the virus, is a great thing. And we all hope, don't we, folks, that our parents come around and realize the error of their ways and we do end up getting that vaccine.
Because we got that Ligma variant coming from South America. And that one's Lambda, Ligma. I'm calling it the Ligma variant.
Yeah.
It's coming from South America, and that one's scary.
We got to get in all the Ligma jokes while we can before it actually decimates the population.
Yeah, before scientists run out of Greek alphabet letters, and they do have to start calling one the Ligma variant.
Yeah, exactly.
The Sugma variant.
Yeah. Suganese.
Suganese.
The Suganese variant.
The what?
Suganese nuts. Hey! Anyways, there you go. So that's a little bit of good news, I guess, all things considered. Again, I'll take a silver lining at this point. I will take it. That's it for today's show. Be sure you watch the most recent... What a doozy of a Tech News Day we had. You can now, or in the future, presumably, make money taking a big BM.
That's doo-doo, baby.
Yeah. BM stands for bonus monetization.
Yeah.
So check out that episode and also the most recent episode of Weekly Weird News, and we'll see you soon for News Dump. Subscribe, like, join the membership.
Hope you like the wall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Art. Become a member. It's the same thing as the Trump card, except
it is.
It benefits us.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.